Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Shiv Sena goes after Shobhaa Day, says she's insulted Marathi culture and food through her tweet on vada paav. Is the Sena back to its bullying ways? Also tonight, as the Prime Minister heads to his next three-nation 9-day tour, is a globe-trotting Prime Minister good for India? That's coming up at 8:30 tonight. But first, she tweeted her protest against Marathi films being made compulsory viewing by the state government, and now Shobhaa Day finds herself at the other end of a vicious Shiv Sena attack. The Sena mouthpiece Samna today slammed her for insulting Marathi food and culture because she talked about vada pav and then proceeded to hold protests outside her home. Shobhaa Day herself has stood her ground, calling the comments bigoted.
Protest by Shiv Senics outside author Shobhaa Day's residence, a day after she spoke out against the Maharashtra government's decision to make slots for Marathi films compulsory during prime time. No more popcorn, only dahi misal and vada pav at multiplexes, the author tweeted yesterday, causing the Shiv Sena first to seek a breach of privilege motion against her in the assembly, and today offering a plate of dahi misal and vada pav to her after a 30-minute-long protest. An editorial in Sena mouthpiece Samna today says, had it not been for Shivaji and Bal Thakere's dadagiri, Shobhaa Day's forefathers and children would have been born in Pakistan, and she would have attended pastry parties in a burqa.
आपको मराठी सिनेमा या मराठी कल्चर से इतनी नफरत है तो आप यहाँ क्यों रहते हो भाई? जाइए.
The Sena also received unexpected support from the NCP.
अगर सरकार का निर्णय सही है तो उसके बारे में बाहर चर्चा हो सकती है, गलत है उसके बारे में भी बाहर आप जो कहना कैसे गलत है बताइए. इस ढंग से टीका टिप्पणी जब की जाती है इसमें जो है थोड़ा सा अपमान सा महसूस होता है.
Attack on every Mumbaiker's freedom. I don't take any of it seriously. I would never respond to comments of that kind. I mean, they're so bigoted.
The Sena's attack on Shobhaa Day is a far cry from the promises of its young leadership to turn over a new leaf.
We've always had different priorities in different decades, you know. And if you see whatever the conservative, if you talk about those protests, they haven't happened for the last 10 years, 10 or 11 years.
The harshly worded Samna editorial is perhaps a contradiction from the young Thakere's assurance. While the BJP has distanced itself from its allies' protests, the Sena maintains it has the right to a peaceful protest. But can the Sena really walk the talk on turning over a new leaf in politics? In Mumbai, with camera person Anand Malipu, Nikita Arora for Indie TV.
So is it back to normal business for the Shiv Sena? Is it back to its bullying ways? Is this the kind of reaction Shobhaa Day's comments should have evoked at all in the first place? Anil Desai, Rajya Sabha MP of the Shiv Sena, senior party leader, joins us tonight from Mumbai. We're joined by author and columnist Siddharth Bhatia, Nasir Abdullah here in the studio with us, and Sambit Patra of the BJP. Shobhaa Day is going to be with us in just a couple of minutes. Mr. Desai, could I ask you, what was it that was against Marathi culture in what Shobhaa Day tweeted? It seemed like a very innocuous tweet, but is Marathi culture so easily offended? Is the Shiv Sena so easily offended by a tweet?
It is, I do wonder how media puts it. See, on the first thing I would like to say that when this kind of tweet appeared on the Twitter, I mean, it's a straight spontaneous reaction, and that was given in the editorial. I mean, we did Shiv Sena mouthpiece Samna. Sanjay Raut has mentioned few things. I mean, in fact, Shobhaa Day, while tweeting, I mean, she should have been proud that yes, prime time slot Marathi cinemas are getting, and that too government has done, and one should be very happy with it. Instead, I mean, she has now people are saying some they have an opinion that you should have taken with a pinch of salt. That is not a thing. I mean, you are saying that instead of popcorn, we'll have to have dahi misal and vada pav. Why? I mean, why are you coming out this kind of scathing attack on the culture of Maharashtra? Whatever, these are the products, these are the things, these are the dishes of Maharashtra where one enjoys, one savors, one relishes, and one should be, in fact, Shobhaa Day should have been proud. She should have made comments. I mean, when now some from media, they are saying that, I mean, it should have been taken in a lighter vein, and a sense of humor should have prevailed. So now same way, what we are saying, that, I mean, whatever is being thought by us, whatever way it is being looked at, because there was some kind of unrest was there from the Bollywood side. Those who were really thinking of comparing it in a commercial way. Not only why, even if I have an argument to make on that
Mr.
also,
Desai, the point
that
is,
commercially,
why
if you are
can't
thinking
anybody
that
disagree?
Marathi cinemas are not doing, it is not so. At
Why
box
can't
office also
anybody
you see
disagree
Marathi.
with the Shiv Sena in Mumbai
Beg your
and then
pardon?
not be attacked for it? You know, or you know, maybe you guys can agree to disagree. You can disagree, you can say, you can be critical of her views, but you know, is protesting outside her house necessarily the answer? That the Samna editorial was pretty scathing and very sharp in its use of language. Was that necessary?
Wasn't that my counter question is, wasn't that tweet what she made, wasn't that harsh or sharp as you put it? I mean, these are the things which have been seen any citizen, any Maharashtrian, those who are residing in Maharashtra for years together, those who are born in Maharashtra, they have a feeling, because Marathi is the official language of Maharashtra. Maharashtra has a culture. And Dadasaheb Phalke, late Dadasaheb Phalke, was the doyen of the entire film industry. I mean, the language which has given so much for the state, for the country,
Okay,
and
you
having
made your point. You made
Marathi
your point,
cinemas
Mr. Desai.
on a prime
So
time in
you
multiplexes. I mean,
you
one should have
completely disagree with the
one
tone of her
should have
tweet.
taken in a
You completely disagree with the tone of her tweet. You believe that she was insulting.
tone of a tweet. Yeah.
Okay, let me take this to Siddharth
It smelled
Bhatia.
of derogation. It
Okay,
smelled.
you think it was derogatory. Siddharth Bhatia, you know, I don't have an answer to that. I mean, you know, someone like Shobhaa Dey tweets about vada paav. I mean, it seemed innocuous to many. It seemed to be in lighter vein to many, and it's been taken to mean something completely different by the Shiv Sena and by some others in Mumbai. What's going on here?
No, I'll split the two things. Mr. Desai has actually brought two things together. Firstly, the rule saying that you have to show Marathi films between 6 to 9. If I recall, a lot of people objected, Shobhaa too. I spoke about it, to say that 6 to 9, you can't impose 6 to 9, you can say show it. And as you see, 24 hours later, they have held meetings with the stakeholders and come up with that. So nobody, I repeat, is objecting to the fact that Marathi films or regional films should be given encouragement by various means, tax included. The multiplexes ought to show them, so that's not an issue at all. Secondly, now we come to what she said. Now, Mr. Desai said she should have expressed pride. Now, this kind of prescriptive statement that she should only say this and not have any kind of other comment, I think that is what a lot of us are finding very strange, because I may not hold those views. I'm ready to take Shiv Sena's views as long as they are made peacefully, but you go and submit a breach of privilege proposal, motion in the assembly. I mean, that's taking it really too far. And then when you send a protest march, that protest march fortunately was just a peaceful march, but it could, you know, turn ugly. So I want to say, as a citizen, as a journalist, as a tweeter, as somebody who enjoys Marathi films, by the way, and has lived in this state all my life, why can't somebody have another point of view? That's all there is to it. Nothing in her tweets was insulting. Nothing.
Yeah, I think.
In fact, their tweets were very, very fond. In fact, she said very fondly that I like these films, but why was it done this way? And that's been corrected. So I think Mr. Desai is mixing up two things and the Shiv Sena is mixing up two things.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
Before I get Mr. Desai to respond to that, let's get Nasir Abdullah to come in on this. Is that the problem here? Like Siddharth Bhatia rightly, separated these two issues. The problem is when you have a different point of view, why is that not respected anymore? Why can't we all just agree to disagree?
Yeah, I think there's been an overreaction. The comment she made about the vada paav was simply to ask the powers that be, what will you think of next to push us to the wall, in a way. Now, unfortunately, the content of the comment has been viewed as an insult to the Marathi culture, which was not her intention. I'm sure she was in the clear. It was a spontaneous reaction to what will you think of next. You will also tell us what to eat. Unfortunately, she mentioned this. If it had been a biryani or anything else, would have been okay, I guess. Which is fine. But this is a reaction for which she can possibly not have to apologize, but regret if some people have been unduly offended by the reference to their diet, because some people, actually the people are not interested. It is a party that is sort of actually doling out this thing that you've offended us. Nobody has the time to be offended over a harmless tweet like this.
But why do you say that she should regret that then?
Well, if somebody is hurt, if I step on somebody's foot accidentally and it hurts him, or I elbow a person, I can say, I'm sorry, it is inadvertent. You don't mean to hurt a person. All the more reason you are even more innocent. So if you say that, that's all she has to say. She doesn't have to apologize, but it's just like, and they all say it.
But I don't know, I'm going to get Siddharth Bhatia to respond to that as we wait for Shobhaa Day to come on. But Sambit, it's interesting that the BJP is actually not officially, approved in a sense or agreed with its ally in Maharashtra on what has happened today. You have a very different view on this as a party.
I believe the most important and the core issue over here is allowing Marathi movie to go ahead with the kind of response that it should have had previously. And we are celebrating that. So when we are celebrating something which we have propagated, a law that we have brought in, I believe there should be no space for such kind of demonstrations, especially when you are in government. You have to see to it that law and order of the state is maintained. Having said that, I'll also say, though we distance ourselves from the kind of protest we had seen, I would also say that we all have a right to opinion, we all have a right to protest also, but then there has to be a thin line, where you do not step into the culture of a state. This is best avoided if the culture of the state comes in while you are protesting. There are other means of protesting as well. But having said this, I'll only stick to the point that there are technicalities as to why this whole decision was taken by the government. And I can best answer on technicalities rather than going on an issue from which we have nothing to do.
No. So, Mr. Desai, you heard the BJP actually distancing itself from the way the Shiv Sena has protested on this issue. How would you respond to that, firstly?
See, basically, Shiv Sena is not sponsoring, or we have not sponsored anybody to do this kind of. These are the spontaneous reactions, as I said, that one has really taken it seriously. Everybody, whoever have gone and demonstrated against in front of Shobhaa Day's residence or wherever she stays, it is out of that spontaneity that they have felt, they have taken it in a very serious way. Why, anybody should object, and that too, Shobhaa Day being a Maharashtrian, and when she calls that, she takes pride in calling her Maharashtrian. Then, ridiculing Maharashtrians or Marathi culture in a way, then you are comparing popcorn, instead of popcorn we'll have to have vada paav and all these things. That you are demeaning vada paav and dahi misal compared to popcorn.
But
so these are the things how the thoughts have come to their mind, and they are expressing it, and there is no. It is not that we have come out. It's a waging.
If somebody actually likes
like a waging a war against
Mr. Desai, if somebody who from Maharashtra actually likes popcorn more than vada pav, is that going to be a problem? If somebody from, are you going to go and attack them as well? Did you see what Samna wrote?
Absolutely not.
The kind of names that Shobhaa Day was called. Did she really deserve that?
Shobhaa Day, the way Shobhaa Day puts the things and the way she has tweeted, it is taken in the same spirit, and the editorial, if it has said, there also needs to be sense of humor should be applied to that also. There is nothing, which has ridiculed or which has given any kind of insult to Shobhaa Day in that. If she was so bold to say all this, then whatever editorial has said, it has said, it did mention that what has happened, how Maharashtra is there, what kind of culture we have, what has happened in the past, when riots have taken place, when things were not good in Maharashtra. That was, Shiv Sena was the one who turned out to be savior of people of Maharashtra, Mumbai, and we have performed time and again over that. I mean, there is no political gain was never thought in that. So whatever Shiv Sena has been doing,
let me just take this to Rahul Narvekar.
Marathi,
Rahul
official
Narvekar,
language of Maharashtra,
okay.
regional language of Maharashtra. Listen, let me complete. And commercially also, when at the box office, the point which was made by the people of Bollywood, what we got to understand, that they were apprehensive about the collection, whether they will get at the prime time or not by playing Marathi cinemas. But it is not to be thought over or not to be taken in that context, because Marathi cinemas have been doing quite well.
Separate issue. I think the
since
point
last 4
here
to 5 years.
is Rahul Narvekar.
Number of prizes.
Okay, Mr.
nationally,
Desai, I do have to get
so,
other people into this debate. Rahul Narvekar, surprisingly, you had the NCP supporting the Shiv Sena on this issue. Is this competitive politics playing out in the state?
No, there is no question of supporting Shiv Sena with regards to the action taken after the decision was announced. All we've said is that Marathi culture has to be promoted, Marathi culture has to be protected, and if at all government takes up any steps insofar as promoting culture is concerned, I think we need to not get beyond petty politics and consider it in the benefit of the state. That's all that we have said. Well, insofar as the protests that we have seen in the city today, I think despite Shiv Sena, Bharatiya Janata Party being in government, if their cadre is going to indulge in this kind of tactics, I think we are heading towards a lawless situation. This certainly calls for questioning of the law and order situation in the state. First and foremost, I don't understand as to why any political party should take cognizance of what Ms. Day says. She is not the lawmaker. The lawmakers are sitting in the legislature, legislative assembly, legislative council. Let them take a call. I mean, you can protest against a decision of the government. You can protest against decision of a constitutional authority. I mean, if an individual opines on something, I don't think Shiv Sena or any other political outfit needs to take cognizance of that. By taking cognizance of such comments, we are only encouraging them and promoting, promoting what they are saying. There was no need to, I am of the opinion that there was no need to further this.
Bhujbal reacted to it, Rahul, today, saying that what she said was extremely wrong, that it was quite insulting. Why did he wade into this debate then if you feel that it was unnecessary to react?
What Mr. Bhujbal has said is these are comments made by an individual. According to him, they may not have been in the best of taste, but that does not justify the protests that were done after that. Because Shobhaa Day is no constitutional authority to set the law in this country, or to her opinion hardly matters insofar as legislation is concerned. So the point is, was it required to react in the manner which some political outfits did? That wasn't required.
That's the point that promoting culture is that the Shiv Sena is the ruling party along with you in the state. Does it behove the ruling party to be out on the street like that in front of someone's house saying we don't agree with
Nidhi,
you?
Of late, I would be very candid today. Of late, I believe that somewhere we have left maturity and patience. Somewhere in the short debates that we have, and Shiv Sena being ally also, we try to see to it that the debate would be interesting if I am pitched against the Shiv Sena. But I would be very mature over here and state that, well, together we should see to it that the Marathi culture is propagated, and that's what is happening. I should congratulate the government also. And I would also humbly submit to the Shiv Sena as well, that well, yes, we are in government and we have to see to it that the law and order situation never breaks up. And I would remind over here that on the floor of the assembly, none other than Devendra Fadnavis ji himself said that no one can take on to street, even if the multiplexes take a few days to start this legislation. So definitely our stand is absolutely clear. No one can play with law.